ایک فاتحہ پڑھیے جو محرومین کے لیے مجلس ہوتا ہے. اے سلامی حشر کے دن خوف کچھ کھانا نہیں. اے سلامی حشر کے دن خوف کچھ کھانا نہیں. شافع محشر علی ہے دل میں گھبرانا نہیں. اے سلامی حشر کے دن اور کیا تعجب ہے یہی کہہ کر نسہری چھوٹ جائے. ارے کیا تعجب ہے یہی کہہ کر نسہری چھوٹ جائے. ہم تو انسان ہیں فرشتوں نے بھی پہچانا نہیں. اے سلامی حشر کے دن اور میری مٹی کو نہ ہو اے قبر ایذائے فشار. میری مٹی کو نہ ہو اے قبر ایذائے فشار. بو ترابی ہوں مجھے کیا تو نے پہچانا نہیں. اے سلامی حشر کے دن اور بعد قتل اقربا خیمے میں جب آئے حسین. بعد قتل اقربا خیمے میں جب آئے حسین. ایسی صورت تھی کہ زینب نے بھی پہچانا نہیں. اے سلامی صلوات بارے دیگر صلوات فاتحہ. زنداں میں مقید ہوئے جس دم حرم شاہ. زنداں میں مقید ہوئے جس دم حرم شاہ. بوہے خلائق ہوا دروازے پہ مجمع ہوا اس درجے کے مسدود ہوئی راہ. سر شرم سے زنجیر پہ عابد نے رکھا. سر شرم سے زنجیر پہ عابد نے رکھا. اطفال حرم قید تھے بازو بھی بندھے اور شامیوں کے طفل وہاں کھیل رہے تھے، اور شامیوں کے طفل وہاں کھیل مشغول جو تھے کھیل میں اطفال وہ سارے، کرتی تھی سکینہ وہاں حسرت سے نظارے، کہتی تھی کیا ہو گئے ہم جولی ہمارے، بابا علی اصغر کو کہاں لے کے سدھارے، بابا علی اصغر کو کہاں لے کے سدھارے، سب بچے یہاں کھیلتے اور کندہ زنا، میں کھیلتی تھی جن سے وہ اطفال کہاں ہے، میں کھیلتی تھی جن سے وہ اطفال کہاں ہے، ناگاہ نمودار ہوئی شام غریب، آیا غضب آلودہ وہاں شمر بدی، اور بولا تماشائیوں سے بالب خندہ، اب جاؤ کہ ہوتا ہے مکافل در زندہ، اب جاؤ کہ ہوتا ہے مکافل در زندہ، یہ سن کے پریشان ہوا انب وہ سارا، گم ہو گیا ایک شخص کا فرزند عزادہ، چلایا پدر اس کا رہا دل پہ نیا، فرزند بھی بابا اسے کہہ کے پکارا، فرزند بھی بابا اسے کہہ کے پکارا، وہ طفل لپٹنے جو لگا اپنے پدر سے، پیدا ہوئی ایک سکینہ کے جگر سے، پیدا ہوئی ایک سکینہ کے یہ کہ سکینہ پہ جو رقت ہوئی تاری، بس ہائے پدر کہہ کے کئی بار پکاری، تڑپی جو زمین پر تو زمین ہل گئی ساری، جھنجلا کے کہا شمر نے پھر کرتی ہو زاری، جھنجلا کے کہا شمر نے پھر کرتی ہے، اب خوب رلاؤں گا تجھے میں نہ ڈروں، میں تجھ کو اسیروں سے جدا کروں گا، میں تجھ کو اسیروں سے جدا کروں گا، پھر شمر نے بازو سکینہ کو جو کنبے کی طرف اس نے عجب یا سے دیکھا، سب قیدیوں میں شور قیامت ہوا، سجاد کے قدموں پہ مچل کر گری دکھیا، سجاد کے قدموں پر مچل کر گری، یوں لپٹی تھی بھائی سے وہ اس خوف و خطر، ایک ہاتھ تو گردن میں تھا، ایک ہاتھ کمر میں، ایک ہاتھ تو گردن میں تھا، ایک ہاتھ کمر میں، منہ دیکھ کے سجاد کا کہتی تھی رو اب آپ میرے اب آپ میرے رونے کے ضامن ہو، گر تم سے چھٹی زیست میری ہوئے گی کیوں، اب رو تو جو چاہے کرے شمر ستم گر، اب رو تو جو چاہے کرے شمر ستم، بھیا مجھے تو شمر سے اس وقت بچا لے، بھیا مجھے تو شمر سے اس وقت بچا لے، اب رو تو کر دیجیو ظالم کے حوالے، اب رو تو کر دیجیو ظالم کے حوالے، زندان میں شکریہ۔
تشریف لے کھلا، آپ لوگ ذرا صلوات پڑھتے ہوئے آگے آ جائیے، بر محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔
There's a request for Surah Fatiha for the following people. Please note it down. Saleha Jafri and Zakia Begum Himmati. Please recite a Surah Fatiha for their soul. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل نعم المولى ونعم النصير أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله العظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. There is a question mark about our ending that Allah has kept, and this question mark is there to put fear in our hearts as to what is going to be our ending, whether it's going to be a happy ending or a sad ending. It's unknown. Really, there's no hint. It's just that we hope, we wish, we pray, we supplicate, we cling on to whatever we can find in order to make sure that our ending is going to be a good ending. But it is unsure, and there's a question mark. And there, in this question mark and this unknown factor as to what's going to happen to us at our end, lies certain pitfalls. And that builds the fear inside of us. That scares us into thinking that if these pitfalls, if I fall into them, then I could be a good person right now, but my ending is going to be sad. And we have seen many examples like that in history, and Allah has showed it in the Quran, and we have seen it in the life of the Prophet and after him, of people who were supposed to be good, but they ended up with a terrible ending. People that came from a good environment, came from a good family, but they ended up wrong. And all the examples you can think of in the Quran, and all the examples that we can see of in history are proof of that. And if this doesn't scare us, well, it should. As to, am I going to be a victim of one of those pitfalls? Am I going to be a victim of falling down in something that I didn't know was going to take me to the hellfire, but it does? And hence, now we need to start paying attention to those places that is going to make us fall down. And it's going to hurt us. And this is something that we saw in Karbala, highlighted in Karbala. When we look at Karbala, we see that there's a host of pitfalls and there's a host of surges where people who were supposed to be good fell down and bought hellfire for themselves. And there are people who are supposed to be bad, but they increased in faith all of a sudden, unexpectedly, and ended up becoming heroes and achieved a great achievement and are going to heaven. How does this happen? So now, this is where we need to know, what are those pitfalls? Wouldn't it be good for us to have a list of those pitfalls to know that, you know what? These are the traps that I need to be careful of. Not every sin is a trap. Not every sin is a pitfall. This is the wrong idea. People think that sins are pitfalls. No, certain sins are, but certain other things also are pitfalls. And that's the important thing. Understanding what those are, identifying them, and making sure that we don't fall prey and victim to one of those pitfalls. So without any further ado, I want to go into the list that I promised. Now I won't go and speak about every pitfall, but there's, some of them I'm going to speak about that hopefully is going to be relevant for us in trying to let us know that this is something that we need to be aware of, that we don't fall victim to such things. So let's send the salawats. Alright, so today's topic is the list of pitfalls. What are those things that make a person fall into the hellfire right away? What are those things? So let's now, when we look at these lists, the first two items on the list is not actually actions or qualities, it's actually a character type. We need to find out, am I that character type that falls down and destroys ourselves? So let's see that. Number one on this list is a person, and you will see this person, that he's always looking to escape responsibility. Any place where he gets an obligation or he sees that he's going to be obligated to do something, you see he looks at it from far away and says, I don't want to be anywhere near that. And you see such people always trying to run away from any sort of responsibility, any sort of obligations. And every time you look at him and you say, hey, listen, let's get this done, they say, all right, they'll make an excuse and they'll go away. They never come forward to take any responsibility. They always try to escape responsibility. Such people, they made themselves a habit that whenever they see anything that is going to burden them, they run away from it. Whether it has to do with relationships, whether it has to do with obligations in life, or whether it has to do with responsibilities in relationship to Allah. They always try to find loopholes. You'll see, for example, they don't ask, what's the best thing for me to do right now? What they ask is that, so how do we get out of this? Right? Come on. You are learned, you need to tell me a way out of this. And you will see that. Some people, they take responsibility. They want to be responsible. They want to do something that is really helping others. They want that. And hence you'll see that those are the type of people that not only are they not running away from responsibility, but these are people who are running towards it and want it. Not just for themselves, but to help others. You see, these people always volunteer to do things. And they're always there for others, right? You'll see that. Then there's another character type that avoids it, runs away from it, any sort of responsibility. They don't want to help anything. They want to get out of any sort of responsibilities. You will see these two types of characters at different situations. For example, you see them on April 15th when they have to fill out their taxes. Really. You'll see those people who want to escape responsibility are trying to look for loopholes how not to pay taxes. And then there are those people who are so much into it, they want to pay all the voluntary taxes also. But still, what happens? This is a character type. It's same thing in terms of obligations and responsibilities. People who want to run away from the law, don't want to practice it, escape from it. Why? Why are you doing that? Because you don't want that burden on you. You don't want that obligation on you. These are the people that when it comes to any sort of obligation, they saw Imam Hussein, for example, from far away, and they said, no, we don't want to even get close to him. We don't even want to get close to him. Right? And in fact, when Imam Hussein cornered them, in the best way that they can, they try to escape. An example. Ubaidullah ibn Hur al-Juhfi. I don't know if you heard about this person. Ubaidullah ibn Hur al-Juhfi is one of those people that Imam Hussein himself went to his camp. And he went there and invited him and said, listen, I am asking for your help. Can you imagine that? If Imam Hussein came to you and said, listen, I, the grandson of the Prophet, is asking you personally for your help. Wouldn't that be a proud moment for us? I mean, really, for us, we'll be like, anything for you. He asked that. He put himself out in front of this Ubaidullah ibn Hur al-Juhfi. And in reply to that, Ubaidullah said that, listen, I'll give you a horse and some swords to fight, but no, I can't help you. I'm not going to come with you. I'm sorry, because where you are going, I know what's going to happen there. And I just don't want that. But here, you can take a horse as a consolation. Imam Hussein said, listen, I don't need your horse. I don't need your swords. The issue is that when this is a character type, my friends. If a person has this character type of always trying to find loopholes instead of trying to find what he should be doing, this is a person that's eventually going to leave the truth, in fact, turn against it. One day or the other, Allah is going to put you in a grinder. He's going to put you in a test where you now end up becoming the enemy of the Prophet and the Imams. You didn't know how it happened, but it did. A lot of people really are like that. For example, now the second character type. I'm just giving these things. The second list item, right? About what are the people who are going to be destroyed. What makes a person destroyed? Number 2, a person who takes too long in accepting the truth. This is another character type. Now, I don't want to mention all the hadiths because it's going to take too long. I'm just mentioning this list to you so that I can go through this list and we can learn as many as we can, so that we can avoid these things. What is this character type? A person, he knows that this is the truth. He hears that this is right. He knows that this is right, but he takes too long to accept it. He takes too long to acknowledge it. Why are you dilly-dallying and not accepting it the way it's supposed to be accepted? It's there. You know it is right. Why aren't you doing it? And when a person takes time accepting the truth, then even if he accepts the truth later on, the truth will be ineffective and useless for him. This is really what happens. For example, a person, he knows that this is right, but then he takes, I don't want to accept it right now. Again, a person who runs away from obligations. What happens is that eventually when he'll say, okay, I admit it, you're right, I admit it. Now when he does admit to the truth, and when he does accept it, the truth is useless for him. It doesn't matter. In fact, he ends up completely on the wrong side. Like for example, the people who are known as Tawabin. Ever heard these people? Okay, some people heard about them, right? Most of you haven't heard about them, right? These were actually followers of Ahlul Bayt, followers of Imam Hussein in Kufa, who wrote letters to Imam Hussein. And when Imam Hussein sent Muslim ibn Aqil over to see the situation, they refused to accept Muslim ibn Aqil. They said, well, here's the deal. You are a nobody. You are not Masoom. We will wait for Hussein. We won't support you. These were like the scholars. Scholars said, we only follow Masoom. We don't follow non-Masoom. That's what they told Muslim ibn Aqil. We only follow Masoom people, not non-Masoom, and you are not Masoom, so we won't follow you. When Hussein will come, we'll support him. And we'll be with him. What happened? When Imam Hussein did come, these people, this is how Allah does it. Allah made the situation so that they couldn't come there. That they didn't come to help Imam Hussein. And yes, when they did learn about that he was martyred, and when they did come out to see that Ahlul Bayt were massacred in Karbala, so they were saddened by the news. They cried. They were so saddened by it and grieved by it, they said, we will take revenge for Imam Hussein's murder. This will not go unpaid, though we are going to take the revenge for that. What happened is that they fought against the army that went to fight against Imam Hussein. They did fight against that. Some of them died. But let me tell you about some of them what happened. Because of the fact they didn't accept the truth in time. They knew that this is the truth. Muslim ibn Aqil was there. Why didn't you accept it? They knew it was right, but they did not want to fall in under the obligation of Muslim ibn Aqil. They didn't want to fall under his obligation. So in order to run away from that, they took their time in accepting it. When they did accept it, now it was too late. Imam Hussein came and he was killed. They didn't have chance to support him. So here's what happened to some of them, right? Now, they wanted to help. They went and fought the army, and they lived after that. And when they lived after that, now here's what happens. When Mukhtar rose up, you know about Mukhtar, right? He rose up to take the revenge of Imam Hussein. He established a government in Kufa, and that was the reason why Imam Hussein's revenge was taken, and all those people who did do the crime of killing Hussein and his family were brought to justice. So when he did stand up, these people who were followers of Imam Hussein turned against Mukhtar, went to fight against Mukhtar, under whose flag, under whose leadership? They fought against Mukhtar under the leadership of Shimr. Shimr was raising the flag against Mukhtar, and these people went to Shimr. They said, it's better to join Shimr to fight Mukhtar. Can you imagine that? These are the followers of Imam Hussein. What happened to you all? What went wrong here? What went wrong here is that you did not accept the truth in time. Submit to it. Otherwise, when you don't submit to it, Allah is going to make the situation such. It's when you know it. When you know the truth, that this is the truth, and you know it in your heart, you know it, this is right. If you don't accept it, then Allah will make your life such that you are going to turn against it. He will make it such in your life, and there's no way, there's nothing you can do about it. And this is why, my friends, this is a character type. Am I like that? That when I see something right, I stall and I say, no, let me not accept it. Let me not go under it. Why? Because if I go under it, I'll be obligated to do something. If I'm that character type, I need to look at it and say, no, let me submit. Let me submit. Isn't it time for believers to submit to Allah? This is what they need to ask themselves. Why am I stalling? Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. You see, thinking is a good thing. Thinking is a good thing. But overthinking is a problem. Right? Some people overthink an issue. They beat a dead horse. They really make the issue so much, they think about it so much that really it becomes bad for them. They turn against it. You know, and these are examples that we learn about it. It's really interesting to see this, right? They will side with the truth, some people, but they will only side with it until an extent. And when that time comes for them to leave it, they go away. My friends, the third thing on the list is what? Whenever you want to accept the truth, you got to submit to it right away. If you do not admit to it, what happens is this. You are going to say that, yes, I'm with the truth, but if you're not with it all the way, then eventually Allah is going to create a situation where you end up leaving it. There was a scholar that Muawiyah had approached. And Muawiyah told him that, listen, there's an ayat in the Quran, I'll read it for you, right? This ayat. He says, say that this ayat is about Imam Ali. He says, say this ayat is about Imam Ali. And let me read the ayat for you so you understand the background, right? He said, say that this ayat is about Imam Ali. He told the scholar that. He says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يُعْجِبُكَ قَوْلُهُ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. He says, and amongst men is he whose speech is amazing. He gives a great speech. Right? He gives a great speech about the life of this world. He's amazing when he speaks. He is amazing. This is ayat of the Quran, right? وَيُشْهِدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا فِي قَلْبِهِ. Allah is a witness of what's in his heart. And Allah is, He makes Allah a witness of what's in his heart. For example, he says, Allah knows this, and I speak about this dunya, and the life of this dunya, and let me tell it to you where it is. A great speaker, an orator, he is out there. And then Allah says at the end, وَهُوَ أَلَدُّ الْخِصَامِ. And he is the most violent enemy of Allah. He gives a great speech, but he's a violent enemy of Allah. So Muawiyah was telling to this scholar, say that this ayat is about Ali. This ayat is about Ali. So the scholar was like, are you kidding me? How dare you say that? This is about Ali. It's not about Ali. Muawiyah said, I'll give you 100,000. He's like, but what will people say? What will people say? People will not accept it. You see, now it's not Imam Ali, it's about what will the people say. Okay, what will the people say? Muawiyah said, okay, how about 200,000? That'll solve that problem. He said, still, no one's going to believe that. Everyone knows who Ali is. No one's going to believe that. Muawiyah said, listen, 300,000. Would that make people believe? And he was like, no, he was insisting. No, I can't. I mean, I know Ali and I know the people won't accept it. They will be so upset, they will be so angry. And all these things he is saying. Muawiyah said 400,000. He says, all right, if you insist. If you insist. So, he's like, okay. And then Muawiyah then added on to him. He said, listen, say the next ayat, the ayat after that, is about Ibn Muljam. The next ayat, he said, say that that's about Ibn Muljam. Allah revealed that for Ibn Muljam, the killer of Imam Ali, right? So what's the next ayat? He says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرَضَاتِ اللَّهِ. That amongst men is someone who has given his life to seek the pleasure of Allah. He gives his life for that. And said, this is Ibn Muljam. He gave his life and Allah's pleasure is with him. So this scholar, he says, say that this is for Ibn Muljam. Now, Muawiyah gave him 400,000. The scholar didn't charge him for the second one. It was 2 for the price of 1, right? And this guy just, obviously said it. He said it, he announced it to the people, and the people were like, obviously what had happened, the fitna was created, whatever it was. But the issue is this, my friends. This person knew who Imam Ali was, and he was defending him at the beginning. But because he did not submit to him completely, Allah is going to raise that price now. That test comes from Allah. A lot of times we don't know these things, right? That listen, Allah raises a test. I told you at the first speech that deen is complicated. Religion is complicated. And by complicated, it means, Allah makes it difficult for you. He makes it difficult so that what's inside of you comes out. As an example, right? Let me give an example, that about Musa and the cow, right? The golden cow. And how the people were misguided by the cow and they were worshipping the cow. Well, when Musa came back and all of this was done, so Musa asked Allah that, Allah, okay, you know what, I understand about the cow being golden, I understand about Samari, I understand about all of these things, right? And the people worshipping it, okay, that's also understandable. But the one thing, Allah, I don't understand, because you see the cow, it was made and then it used to make noise, right? One thing Musa asked him, right? He said, Allah, I don't understand that. Where did that noise come from? Because that noise was impressive. A lot of the people fell into the trap of that cow because of the noise that the cow was making. Not just it was golden, but it was making noise. And since it was making noise, a lot more people got into that trap. So Musa asked him, Allah, where did that noise come from? Allah said, oh, that was me. He says, that was me. I was making that noise for the cow. Why? I wanted to raise the heat to see how the test really goes, to see how many people pass. My friends, Allah does that. He will raise the stakes, He will raise the price so that now you're really tested and you're really put on the griller and you're really now have to see that which is hidden inside is going to come out. Allah does that. So if you do not accept the truth and acknowledge it and submit to it completely, it is going to come back to haunt you. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. All right, another item on the list. Things that destroy us eventually. Is going to hurt us and destroy us and make us an enemy of the Imam if we are not careful about it and do about it. The next item on the list is building a reputation for yourself as being muttaqi. Yes. Some people build a reputation that they are muttaqi, that they are religious, that they are very good. And this reputation that they build up becomes such that now their whole deen becomes maintenance of that reputation. Not about worship of Allah, not about submission to Allah, but maintaining the reputation that they build for themselves, that they are religious. Now I am praying, I need to go to the masjid on time. Why? If I don't, what will the people say? What happened to you? You're late, you're never late, I have to be there on time. It's not about Allah now. It's not about me and my worship to Allah. It's about that reputation I have to keep. This false idea that we build about ourselves, this false reputation that we build for ourselves, is a trap that we make for our own self. When a person has this trap, now he's doing this just to keep up that reputation. And when something comes between you and that reputation, you are willing to forego the truth, and there you go. My friends, I don't know, like for example, a lot of people, sometimes I find it hard to explain these things to people, let's say this, one alim, who led the prayer once, right? I really found out that this was a courageous, brave alim who led the prayer. Once somewhere. He led the prayer, right? And as he was leading the prayer, he lost his wudu. He lost his wudu. No one knew that. No one understood that. But he himself announced it. And he turned around and, as is the rules, appoint someone else to lead the prayer from where he left off. That's the rule. If you break the prayer, if the imam breaks the prayer, then he turns out and sees who can lead the prayer and he appoints him. You come forward, lead the prayer from that point onwards. He did that. Really, when you stand up there and you have to now tell everyone that, listen, I lost my wudu, it takes a lot of guts. A lot of people really have a hard time with that. Really. There are stories I can tell you, right, regarding this, and this is one of those things. Why? Because they build a reputation for themselves, and that reputation is so important to keep up that they really may have a hard time. They lose their religion, they will sell their religion doesn't matter at all. One of our alims went to Muharram program, right? He went to a Muharram program in a village in Pakistan. He told me this. He said that, listen, I went to a program for the Ashura and Muharram. I was doing the Muharram Majalis and all these things over there, right? And obviously there used to be a mosque there and there used to be Friday prayers there, right? And what happened is that the people there, his people, like after the majlis, right, they used to hang out like how we do, After the majlis, you always have those guys who, have a lot of time on their hands, to hang out with Maulana. Or they're really interested to learn, right? Okay, give that also. But so what happened is that they hang out with the Maulana and everyone's hanging out and this and that. So in one of those gatherings, right, one of them said about the local imam of the masjid who leads the Friday prayer. He said, hey, you know what? We heard that the local imam over here, he's become an atheist. He lost his faith in Allah. He said, what are you talking about? He said, yes. Well, he said, where do you hear that from? You see, and he was like approaching it from the point of view, this is Rebut. Do you really know that? Do you actually know that? If you say something like that, you have to prove it. Right? You just can't say something like that about people, especially a Muslim. You can't say, oh, he left the belief in Allah and all these things, right? So the people, well, it's known amongst people. He says, still, if it's known, you can't say it. Okay, then what happened is that one of those nights, the imam of the masjid, he came in the gathering. And someone went to this alim and said, you know what? He's here in the gathering. The local imam who led the Jummah prayers. He said, he's here, look over there, and he just saw him from far away and said, all right, whatever it is, So this Imam was in the gathering, listening to all these things, then slowly moved towards the alim, and then he came to him and said, I'm sure you must have heard a lot of things about me. He says, I did, but I don't accept any of that and this and that and all these things, right? He's trying to explain himself now. Really, yes, I heard, but really, I did not accept it and all these things. I was trying to justify him. And the Imam says, whatever you heard is true. Whatever you heard is true. He says, and now he's really shocked. He's like, what do you mean, true? What are you trying to say? He said, I lost my faith in Allah. I lost my faith in Islam and all these things. I just can't. He said, but I heard that you lead the Friday prayer and you lead the prayer and the people like your speeches and all these things. He said, yeah, of course, they love my speeches. And I do a good job at that too. I do a great job at that too. And I give great speeches and they love those speeches. And I lead the prayer for them. He says, but you're saying you don't believe in Allah. He said, listen, that's my job. That's my job. Whatever my job requires me to do, I do that. For example, it requires me to give a khutbah and sermon, I give the sermon. It doesn't require me to be in wuzu, so I don't make wuzu. Understand this, right? A lot of people, why does this happen? It's because you built a reputation of yourself as religious, eventually it's going to wear out. And now you see yourself turning against the truth. This is a really horrible trap to fall into. A lot of us do fall into that trap. It's better just to say that, I'm a nobody. Right? I'm a nobody. As opposed to trying to say that I am great, I am religious, I am this, I am that. Because now when you say that, Shaitan is making a resume for you. Okay, good. You say these things, right? I'll hold you up to that. Right? And make sure that you are up to that. Now, this becomes a trap. This is one of those things that make us fall down. Many people in Karbala fell down because of this. Because they built a false trap for themselves that they are religious, that they are good, that they're all these things. And now, instead of going against that reputation and just leaving all of that and coming to a stand, they couldn't. And they ended up being there. Yes, they ended up being there. They knew this was right, but they couldn't do it. In fact, when Imam Hussein was being martyred and Shimr was slaughtering him, there were people in the army who made a circle. They made a circle. They were so upset they made a circle. They took off their amamas, put it on the ground, and they were praying to Allah, Allah help him, please help him. Really? What is that? This is what happens when we fall into a trap like this. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So in short, one of those things that really hurt, and I gave the idea yesterday, is arrogance and ego has a lot to do with bringing down people. And it exhibits itself, it manifests itself in different ways that I'm explaining to you. For example, pride is a pitfall. But pride in what? Pride in that I am right. That we are on the truth. Everyone believes that they're Ahlul Haq, that we are on the truth. And you know what? Because of that, they have a pride that we are on the truth. We are right, everyone else is wrong. Now, as soon as you look at others as being wrong, and me being right, Shaitan comes to you and say, what? He comes to you and says, you are right. Exactly. You are right in reaching that conclusion that you are on the truth and everyone is wrong. And they need to be condemned. Right? And this is the problem, my friends. You see, how we approach Islam is so wrong. Right? Listen, if I understood what I am on to be right, then how should I look at others? Do I look at them as wrong? Or do I look at them as those people that Allah is trying to help in trying to make them right? How do I look at themselves? Foolish people who don't know religion and Islam, when they look at sects and they say that Islam is going to be divided into 22 sects and one of them is going to be right, Firqa and Najiyah, and it's going to be right and successful and this and that. Okay, you know what? If you're on Firqa, what happens to the other 70 sects? How do you view them? Do you look at them as being wrong, or do you look at them as being, for example, that these are Allah's people that I need to help? How do I approach it? This is our mistake in looking at these things the wrong way. Did Allah wanted us to look at it? Did Rasulullah wanted us to look at others as wrong? No, my friends. This is the idea that when we are together, we are trying to, even if I know that, you know what, this is right, I came to the truth, and I know that this is the truth, but when I look at others, I say, you know what, this is what I found. You want to share it with me. I want to share it with you. This is the way that a person who's right is going to approach. Rasulullah did not look at others and say, oh, you are wrong, so that means you're condemned. The people who were persecuting him, the people who were killing him, Rasulullah is saying, listen, I'm going to give you a chance. Please, Allah is trying to help you. You know, like for example, Allah gives the example of Prophet Nuh. You know how he gives the example? Nuh, after being beaten up by the people for 500 years, because he used to preach Islam to them, after being beaten up by them for 500 years, he comes to them and tells them that do istighfar, Allah is going to forgive you. Allah is ready to forgive you. Don't you want to do istighfar? And my question is, Nuh, what's wrong with you? 500 years they beat you up. Why do you have such a compassionate heart that you still want to forgive them? No, you see, these examples that are in the Quran, they need to be made personal in order to understand them. Right? Let me make you understand that which Nuh is doing, and then you can appreciate Nuh. And you can appreciate the prophets. Right? Let's say that me, the Maulana, was here and giving speeches to you, and someone disagrees with me. They disagree with me, and so we started arguing, let's say on the side. He comes and asks a question, and we start arguing. He doesn't listen to me, I don't listen to him, and it escalates into a heated debate and a heated argument, and lo and behold, the brother slaps me. The Maulana slaps me. All of a sudden, you know? And obviously, now what do you think? This is like outrageous. Oh, there's an outcry in the community. Maulana has been slapped by this brother. And obviously, Maulana is not going to let that down. He's not going to let go of that. He's like, you know, listen, we need to take care of him, ban him, right? Boycott him, ban him, and that's it. He should not be allowed to come to the masjid and this and that. Now, someone goes to that brother and says, hey, listen, you know, what you did was wrong. Go ahead and apologize. So the brother's like, okay, yes, I was wrong. Let me go there and apologize to the Maulana for slapping him in the face, you know. So what happened is that he comes and then he says, Maulana, I apologize for that and all these things. Now Maulana in that sense, he says, listen, I don't want to even see you. Now we will see each other on the day of judgment when Allah will be the judge. Bibi Fatima will be there. And I will take my case over there now with you. Oh, it's just a slap. You're taking it all the way to the day of judgment? I mean, Nuh was beaten up for 500 years. 500 years the Prophet is beaten up, and still he's saying Allah is ready to forgive you. Go, please ask him for forgiveness. Allah is ready to forgive you. My friends, character. This is really what matters. Build yourself up to that. And then it really matters. Otherwise, when we fall into a trap, that's what happens. We destroy ourselves. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Another trap that we see people find themselves in a lot of times, right? And this is for everyone. They do find themselves in a lot of trap, is in Arabic known as hubbul maqam, hubbul jah, hubbu ja or hubbe maqam, it means that love of status, wanting to be, having a status, wanting to be someone big. This love and desire to seek status really destroys us. Even, right, you don't have to be a king or a ruler. I mean, you can be in charge of anything. Status. And this is really what destroys us. A trap that we set for ourselves to be destroyed. In the kids, for example, they'll know this. Muslim bathrooms. If you have been to a Muslim bathroom, right now SABA has like really ultra-modern bathrooms. That's really good, right? But if you ever go for ziyarat or something like that, and you go to a Muslim bathroom, and you see, situations. Now, what happens over there, right? In the old days, there used to be, for example, any bathroom that you go to, a public bathroom would have a caretaker. And the caretaker, for example, would be in charge of taking care of the bathroom, making sure they're clean, and the lotas, the lotas, the aftabe, what do you call that? He would make sure that those lotas are filled for the people, right? And as the people will come, they'll take a lota and they use it and come back and put it back here again, right? So one day this person is sitting over there and someone comes there, like myself, and, starts to take a lota. I have to hurry up, And he says, no, put that down. I said, put it down. He said, no, take that one there. All right, I'll take that one and go inside and do my business and come out, and I'm curious, what's wrong with that one? You said don't take that one and, take this one. Why this one? Why not that one? Why did you stop me from there? Why did you, why this one? He says, because I'm in charge. So a lot of people become lota kings. They're in charge of their own domain. And lo and behold, if someone comes in and interferes with their kingdom, right? And so what happened is that really, it is so intense for people that they get in over their heads with the love of power and the love of status. To such an extent that when you actually see this going on, what's wrong? Wow. Let me just make it summarized for you, right? And this is really where it comes to, right? Let me read a hadith from Imam Rida alayhi salatu wasalam. Some things, and I want you to see his thinking and what he's trying to teach us here. Really see how he's trying to teach us. It will help you in understanding pitfalls and how not to fall in pitfalls and what happens. Let's see what he says. Imam saying that do not be impressed by people who stay away from sins. Who stay away from sins. Guna. Don't be impressed by them. Don't be impressed. Just because someone is like muttaqi, don't be impressed by them. No, I got your attention. Right? You thought that, wait a minute, all these years we were taught this. Why is Imam teaching us this? Well, I'm not teaching, Imam Rida is, and he knows what he's teaching. He says, don't be impressed by people who are muttaqi and who stay away from sin. Because staying away from sin doesn't mean that you're obeying Allah. Understand this very well. He says, listen, some people don't sin because they are incompetent. Not because they love Allah or fear Allah. They're incompetent. They don't even know how to do it. Look at that. They're unable to do sin. That's why they don't sin. And if they are competent, then amongst them, some people don't sin because they are just too dumb to sin. Yes, they are dumb. They don't know better. I want to steal something, but I just don't know how to do it. It's like, for example, that one case I heard about, this guy who came and stole from the register of a gas station. He gave a $20 bill, and when the clerk opened the register, he took all the money and ran away. When the cops came over there, he says, "Do you want to file charges?" The gas register guy said, "No." He said, "Why not?" "There are only $6 in the cash register." He left 20. I mean, they want to sin, but they just don't know how to do it. They're just too dumb to sin. Really, I mean, look at how Imam is going about this. Understand this. Not sinning is not going to make you good. Not sinning for the right reason is what makes you good. That's what makes you good. Don't be simple-minded and just say that, mashallah, he's such a moment person. Well, look at why he's not able to do that. And then if you know how to sin, if you know the sin, some people don't sin because of their nafs. Because they are obedient to their nafs, desires. Some people do not disobey Allah because of their nafs. You say, why is that? Understand this, how Imam is saying this. Their nafs and their love that they have, hubbun nafs, is what makes them not sin. And then he gave an example for that. He gave the example. He says, what do you mean by that? I thought it was the nafs that makes you sin. No, the nafs also makes you not sin. Did you know that? He said, why? Because let's say, Imam gave an example. He has hubbul maqam. A person has hubbul maqam. He wants to reach a status. He wants to become the president. He desires to become the president. And in order to reach there, he stays away from every sin that is going to prevent him from reaching there. Understand this? Some people who want to reach a status, you know what happens? They stay away from anything wrong. Why? Because they know that if I do this, it's going to become a scandal, and that will hurt my chances of becoming a president. You're not staying away from sin because you fear Allah. You're staying away from your sin because your desires want something else. And that which it wants is what making you stay away from sins. My friends, look at that and then understand how things work like that. Just don't be impressed by that. One of the things that makes us fall into a trap is being simple-minded, naive. Don't be simple-minded. By simple-minded, I mean, I have no clue what's going on, a honey boo-boo or something like that. You're just like, really, we can't be like that. A mu'min is smart. He is street smart. He sees things inside out. He can't be just like, impressed by outward looks of people. He cannot be like that. A believer is someone who's so smart, he's able to see deeply into any situation and recognize the truth in it. That's why we can't be fooled. But being simple-minded is what makes us fall into a trap. Simple-mindedness makes us go into so many faults and so many problems because we give importance to people that we shouldn't give importance to, and we disrespect people that we shouldn't disrespect because we just don't know who they are. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Well, I'm going to just end over here because it's late. And there are other lists, but I think, this is enough for us to understand some of the pitfalls that happens, pitfalls that can destroy our faith. Pitfalls that really make us fall in the wrong way. A person needs to study, my friends. Study in order not to fall into these pitfalls. Research, be smart about it. Don't be fooled by people on the outward, whatever outward thing they have. Don't be fooled by that. Do research about it. Imams appreciate people who do research and are sharp and they know what they're getting into. 2 men searched for the truth on the night of Ashura. Shab-e Ashur, 2 men searched for the truth. They talked to each other and said, you know what? Let's see who's right. Let's see who's right. They went to one camp to see what's going on there. And they saw whatever they saw. Then they came to the camp of Imam Hussein to see what was going on. To see what was going on. And what they saw and heard, what they saw and heard moved them. Because they saw people praying and making dua. They saw men and women reading the Quran. Imam Hussein reading the Quran. When they saw this, they saw the people who are crying in front of Allah. They saw that. They're like, this looks like the truth. This looks like the truth. Still not impressed. Anyone can do that, right? Anyone can do that. Can be like that. They wanted to find out more. Then they saw someone outside the tents. Outside the tents, away from the tents. They saw someone out there. They got scared. Who's outside there? They said, who is it? And the person introduced himself and said, it's me, Hussein ibn Ali. You are Hussein ibn Ali? Imam Hussein was outside the tents. For a little while, he was outside the tents, in the ground, outside the tents. And they came to him and said, what are you doing out here? In this place, what are you doing out here? He says that, Imam Hussein said that. He says, I am picking up the thorns from the ground. The brush and the thorns in the ground, I'm picking it up. Tomorrow my children will be running around here. I don't want them to get hurt. They looked at Imam Hussein and said, we want to join you. You know, we want to join you. I want you to see Imam Hussein's reaction to this, right? We want to join you. Imam Hussein looked at them. He just looked at them and said, do you see that light far away from here? All the way. They looked around there, very far away. He says, why don't you just go over there and stay there? You'll be out of trouble. You'll be out of trouble. Don't worry, just go away from here, far away, to that light. Just go there and you'll be away from trouble. They looked at Imam Hussein and said, are you trying to kick us out of here, Hussein? We want to be with you. Don't kick us out of here. Give us the chance to be with you. Imam Hussein said, are you sure? Are you sure you want to be here? They said, yes, we are sure we want to be here. I said, all right. So be here then. Imam Hussein was okay. But tonight, I have to go and spend some time with my sister, Zainab. Imam Hussein walks to the tent of Bibi Zainab. And these two men follow behind him. And he bids farewell to them and he goes inside. These two men hear the conversation, the beginning conversation between Imam Hussein and Zainab. The first part of the conversation, the first thing that Zainab, Bibi Zainab asks Imam Hussein is that, are you sure about your companions? Are you sure they will not run away? Are you sure they will not abandon you, Hussein? When these two heard that Zainab, that Bibi Zainab, the sister of Imam Hussein, has a doubt about the companions, when they heard that, they came to Habib ibn Mazahir and said, Habib, you're sitting over here all comfortable and all that. Don't you see the problem? Don't you see what's going on? Habib said, what is wrong? We are comfortable. We know we are right. We are on the truth. And that's why we are comfortable. He says, no. Zainab thinks that you will leave her. Brother, Zainab thinks that you are going to abandon Hussein. And when Habib heard that, a rage came over him. And he called out to the companions and said, everyone come here, come here. All of you come here right now. All of them, they came. All of them gathered in one place. And then Abbas was there. Ali Akbar was there. Habib saw them. He says, no, not you. Not you. You are masters. This is only for slaves. This is only for slaves here. This meeting is only for slaves. You can go away from here. You don't need to prove anything. It's we who have to prove something, right? It's we who have to prove something. So they came to the door of where Imam Hussein was, and they called out to Hussein. They called out to Hussein and said, Hussein, 1 minute, Hussein, just we want to talk to you, 1 minute. So Imam Hussein comes out. He said, what's the matter? I just left you. What happened? He said, listen, we have something to say to your sister Zainab. If you allow us, permit us, if she can come just to the door there, just stay behind the door so that we can address her and say something to her. My friends, Zainab came to that door and they said, we will talk to you from behind the curtain. This was the last time someone gave respect to Bibi Zainab. Last time someone spoke to Zainab from behind the curtain. We know who you are. You stay there. We want to say something to you. And they all started saying that we are going to be with your brother. Our necks will be for him. We will give our necks and all these things. Hussein, when he heard them saying that, he says, wait 1 minute, everyone wait 1 minute. Don't say anything else, don't say anything else. Just hear the next one, and then you give the next thing that Imam Hussein said. If it doesn't break your heart, Imam Hussein tells them, wait 1 minute, don't say it yet, don't say it yet. He knows what they're saying, don't say it yet. He says, Zainab, would you call Sakina also? Let her hear what they have to say. At least my daughters know that there are people who are willing to defend them. My friends, you think that this is why it's so much. Everyone is indebted. These tears that you have, these tears, you're not doing ihsan on Hussein by shedding these tears. You know, it's Hussein who's doing ihsan on you with these tears. Do you know that? This crying is not any sort of favor on Imam Hussein. This is Hussein doing favor on you. Everyone owes Hussein. Everyone is indebted to Hussein. The only person who's not indebted to Hussein is Zainab Kubra. Hussein is indebted to her. You know why? I'll tell you this, my friends. Everyone who cries, he owes Imam Hussein for his salvation. Anyone who cries, he owes Imam Hussein for his guidance. Anyone who cries, he owes Imam Hussein and becomes indebted to Imam Hussein. But here's the deal. When Hussein met with Zainab in that tent, and on the day of Ashura, when they continued that meeting, it is said that Hussein went to Zainab and said, Zainab, after me, Zainab, do not cry. Just do one thing for me. Do not cry after me. No matter what happens, don't cry. Because I don't want them to jeer you and sneer you and say that, oh, why did you do this? Look down on you. Do not do this, Zainab. Please do not cry. This was Hussein's advice to Zainab. Now I want to ask you, if Hussein is advising Zainab not to cry, you think that Bibi Zainab is not going to listen to Imam Hussein? Ask me this question. Just look at yourself. Do you think that Bibi Zainab is not going to listen to Imam Hussein? Hussein is saying, do not cry after me. That's what he told Bibi Zainab. You know, here's what happened. After Hussein, look at history and you'll see, not one place was Zainab seen crying. Everyone cried. Everyone around her was crying. But Bibi Zainab did not cry after that. You know what that means? Let me show you what it means. When Hussein went with Zainab in the tent, Hussein was leading Zainab. Zainab was behind him with her head bowed down. But when they came out of that tent, it was seen that Zainab was leading Hussein. Zainab came out in front. Hussein was walking behind her with his head bowed down. After this, Zainab did not cry. Everyone cried. Zainab did not cry. Children were there. It was hard for the children. Children were there, but Zainab did not cry. She was always just doing the work, never had a tear in her eyes. People were watching her and everyone knew that Zainab did not cry. She was consoling everyone. She was comforting everyone. But you know how far this went? You know the extent of this? Even after Karbala. Even after Karbala, when they went back to Medina, they never saw Zainab cry. You know what happens when someone doesn't cry after going through what they did in Karbala? People think there's something wrong. Make them cry so at least it comes out. So much that they all tried to make her cry. Layla came and said, Zainab, do you remember my Ali Akbar? Zainab would just stare at Layla. She would just stare at Layla. She would just look at her with an empty look, a void expression. She would just look at her. Just they want to make her cry. Baneen came. Many times she tried. She came to her and said, Zainab, do you remember Abbas? Do you remember how Abbas was? He used to love you so much, Zainab. She tried to bring Abbas's memory back. But still, Zainab would not cry. Zainab would not cry. She would just be looking. Everyone was worried. Let's do something. Once they took Zainab into a garden. They took Zainab, Bibi Zainab, into a garden. She went there in the garden and they thought that being in the garden would change the environment. And that will bring out the emotion. When she went to the garden, she saw a stream of water in the garden. Flowing by. She saw a stream of water in the garden. Her knees started to buckle. Shake, and she sat on the ground. She just looked at the water, but the tears did not come out. The tears did not come out. She just went on like that. You know, this went on like that. It was hard. It was hard. But there's one place I saw in history books that was hard. And she was alone then. You know, one place I saw where she broke down. One place I saw where she broke down. You want to hear that story? One place. That's the only place. No one else saw her there except for Imam Sajjad. No one else saw her. Maybe that's the reason. No one else saw her but Imam Sajjad. You know when that was? When they were leaving Sham. When they were leaving Sham and everyone was getting on the camels, they had the freedom to go away. So now as they were being given, these people were going on the camels. Zainab also came there, took all the ladies, helped them to get on the camels. As everyone got on the camel, there's something that happened to Zainab. Something that happened to Zainab as if she remembered something. She turned around and started running back. She started running back. Imam Sajjad went back behind her. He went back behind her. And as he went back behind her, what did he see? Zainab spreads herself on the grave of Sakina. Oh Sakina, I'm leaving you. سيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون يا محمود بحق محمد يا الله بحق علي يا فاطر السماوات بحق فاطمة يا محسن بحق حسن يا قديم الحسان بحق حسن. Allah give us the tawfiq to be on the right path, the wisdom to understand your guidance. Haste to the reappearance of our Imam. Make us his helper when he comes. وآخر الدعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Matami Hussain.
From Karbala Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. The luminous moon lighting the way, the rising sun that brightens the day. Heaven without you would be in flames. You're the heaven in Karbala. Your visitors offer you their hands. Enemies will never understand. How can the water lose to the sand? How can the thirst win in Karbala? Why? Heaven is open, Ya Hussein. Why? Angels descending, Ya Hussein. Why? They are residing in Karbala. From Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. The hand of God that nurtures the young, speaking for Allah, you were the tongue, separating his right from the wrong, elevated in Karbala. The ship that sails swiftly through the waves, and whoever boards your ship is safe, immune from the punishment of the grave. Whoever mourned you in Karbala. When will we meet again, Ya Hussein? When under your dome will I grieve again? From Najaf will I walk to Karbala. When will we meet again, Ya Hussein? When under your dome will I grieve again? From Najaf will I walk to Karbala. From Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. From Karbala, 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 to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala. From last time, Karbala, Karbala, to Karbala, Karbala, Karbala. I left my heart in Karbala.
गुरबत में ख़त्ल हो गया मज़लूम बेवतन गुरबत में ख़त्ल हो गया मज़लूम बेवतन भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन गुरबत में क़त्ल हो गया मज़लूम बेवतन मैं भाई भाई कहती थी लाशा बहन बहन قتل ہو گیا مظلوم بے وطن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن تیروں پہ تھا رکھا ہوا لاشا حسین کا ڈوبا ہوا لہو میں تھا کرتا حسین کا آواز تھی حسین کی بہنا کفن کفن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن غربت میں قتل ہو گیا مظلوم بے وطن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن آئی ناراض دو گھڑی پردیس کی فضا کنبا شہید ہو گیا میرا گھر اجڑ گیا پردیس دیس غیر کا اپنا وطن وطن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن غربت میں قتل ہو گیا مظلوم بے وطن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن ایک دل پہ داغ میں نے 72 اٹھا لیے کچھ داغ میں نے قلب کے اندر چھپا لیے چھپتے نہیں چھپانے سے داغ رسن رسن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن غربت میں قتل ہو گیا مظلوم بے وطن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن دیکھا ہے بابا میں نے جو منظر بتاؤں کیا نیزوں پہ تھا رکھا ہوا سر ہے شہید کا گھوڑوں کے دوڑنے سے تھا ٹکڑے بدن بدن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن غربت میں قتل ہو گیا مظلوم بے وطن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن برچی تلے جائے علی اکبر میں جب لگی بابا کو دی صدا کبھی آواز مجھ کو دی کہتا تھا سینہ تھام کے اماں چبن چبن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن غربت میں قتل ہو گیا مظلوم بے وطن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن غازی کے بعد اور قیامت گزر گئی پیاسوں کی آس ٹوٹ کے پن میں بکھر گئی ایک شور العطش کا پپا تھا دہن دہن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن غربت میں قتل ہو گیا مظلوم بے وطن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن بابا حسن سے بابا حسین شہید تک بابا امیر شام سے دورے یزید تک لوٹا ہے اہل شام نے بابا چمن چمن میں بھائی بھائی کہتی تھی لاشا بہن بہن صلوات و سلام آپ پہ فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ فاطمہ زہرا ہم آئے ہیں پرسے کے لیے فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ فاطمہ زہرا ہم آئے ہیں پرسے کے لیے فاطمہ زہرا کانوں سے سکینہ کے اتارے گئے گوہر کانوں سے سکینہ کے اتارے گئے گوہر زینب کی بھی چینی ہے ردا فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ فاطمہ زہرا صلوات و سلام آپ پہ فاطمہ زہرا ہم آئے ہیں پرسے کے لیے فاطمہ زہرا
السلام علیکم یا رسول اللہ السلام علیکم یا حبیب اللہ یا خیر خلق اللہ ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ السلام علیکم یا ابا عبداللہ وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم السلام على الحسين وعلى علي وعلى أولاد وعلى حسين again السلام على الحسين وعلى علي ابن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك السلام عليكم جميع المعصومين ورحمة الله وبركاته